All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Mechakurash. We say, Barakati Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Bahashem, Mechakurash. And we give double honors to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And to the hopeful elect out there, say shalom, keep pushing, keep faith. And let's jump right into this lesson. The title of this lesson is going to be our favorite subject is at the door. Okay, our favorite subject is at the door. And if you've been watching the recent videos, you've been seeing a lot of videos coming out of concerning this Marky Mark, the Mark Wahlberg. All right, the test to end all tests. Okay, the finish line, because once this is implemented on a large level and a large scale, you're going to see this thing take off, okay? Because we've already been the time that the Lord has allowed us to learn this truth, learn the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding has been a preparation time. It's been getting those that he wants to be able to make it through, just like experience is earned. So if you have to go through hardships, you're going to look back on hindsight and say the hell that you caught gave you what you needed to be able to go through that finish line and to go through the trials and tribulations that are getting ready to take place. So if it was all calm and everything was cool and peachy, you never went through anything. When this time hits, especially time of Jacob's trouble, the coming trial and temptation, those things you would cave easily. Just like a kid that's never experienced hardships, they call him what? He's spoiled brat. So the Lord putting us through hell that we've caught throughout the years, and I'm talking to brothers, the hopeful elect, those that are pushing, those that are maintaining, those that are trying, Lord willing, to become the elect. Okay, those hardships and everything that you went through were gearing you and preparing you to go through what you need. Just like a diamond isn't forged without pressure. Stones, if you deal with precious stones and certain minerals, it takes a lot of pressure, heat to shape it into what it is. So I asked a question. I said, give a detailed outline, because we have a lot of things going on right now. We see that there's a few avenues that Esau, we're talking about the ruling class, the higher ups, the banking class family, that, the Merovingian families, they can use to actually pull the trigger on this thing. Okay, so I asked a question. I said, give a detailed outline and scenario of possible events or situations that could happen or take place that could be used to implement mandatory digital identification and RFID or NFC implants. Bring in a digital currency attached with it, connection with Revelation 13:16-17. Just so we can get down, a direct question. Because if it's not in the books, then chat would be able to give me a understanding back to say it's not. But this is the response I got. Of course, this is a complex and highly speculative topic that cites an intersection of technology, economics, theology, and ethics. The following is a detailed outline exploring potential scenarios and events that could lead to the implementation of a system bearing a striking resemblance to the described in Revelations 13:16-17. So let's read it. It is crucial to preface this by stating that this is theoretically exploring of potential technological and societal trajectories, not a prediction of inevitability, which is on point, because we don't know how the Lord is going to bring this in. We just know that there's different scenarios that are playing out right now that we can see that they can be used, or is being, what does it say? They're fanning the embers to be able to start that fire. So these are the things to watch, and this is what chat came up with. Revelations 13:16-17, and it focused, and it says, and also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. When does sin got a number? You got these guys talking about sin in all of its forms. Sin don't got a number. Sin is an energetical thing. It don't got a number assigned to it. Okay, it's a system, but we do have a what you call a UPC code. We have a barcode that is a number attached to it that is used for buying and selling. There's not been a society, a generation, okay, a rulership that's ever used technology the way Babylon. It's the the Babylonian system by way of the beast starting ruling, and it's riding on that beast, which is America. No other nation has used technology in a way. That's why it goes into the false miracles, that they're performing the false miracles, causing fire to come down in the sight of men. All of these things is tying into a technological, a technically advanced civilization. Okay, in John's day, John the Revelator was not familiar with a technocracy. If I did the technology high intensity in this in what you see as America today. We know it, just like somebody that speaks another language. You may be raised around Spanish. Spanish is second nature to you. You don't know anything else. Another language you're unfamiliar with. So the same thing, John was not familiar with technology on the level that it is used today. Even a plane. If John seen a plane, which he did, going back to World War II, World War One, going back to the visions of the scorpions, the men with the hair, all these things that John was witnessing, he didn't have a way to put it in his modern day time. So he put it in a way that he could use to be able to put down prophecy. Okay, so let's read. It says, detailed outline, the trajectory towards a mandatory digital ID and currency. Preconditions, the problems, demands, and a solution. Ordo ab chaos, Hegelian dialectic. Okay, Hegelian dialect, where you see pressure from above, pressure from beneath. So these are the things that it's broke it down like this. So it could, for it to be able to put the answer across. So let's read. It says preconditions, the problems demanding a solution. Global economic instability and what is that? Inefficiency, which we see happening right now. Scenario: a series of cascading global financial crises, hyperinflation in major economies, and the collapse of confidence in traditional fiat currency, which we are seeing today. That's why gold is at what, $4,400 and climbing. So that right there, so it takes $44,400 plus to receive that ounce of gold, which I remember seeing gold was at $1,200, $1,000. You could get gold for $1,000. Low, I think it might have dipped beyond 1,000 a little bit, but if you would have bought a troy ounce of gold, you would have 400 your money. You would have 400x your money just from that investment. Okay, so it says justification for system. A need for a stable, universally acceptable, so that's that money that they want to push forth. Okay, they crash all the economies simultaneously, really just crash the dollar. Once you crash the dollar, it's Jenga. It's the right piece at the right position can topple the whole building. So you don't have to go to each and every one of these societies because the petrodollar has dominance over the world currencies. Okay, so you topple that, all the other currencies are gonna feel it simultaneously because everybody doesn't trade in the yuan, and a lot of nations are switching to that, but people don't use the Nigerian money or these other monies as they don't trust it. But the dollar is something that bound up everybody in one umbrella of a currency. That's why it's called a world reserve currency. It says a need for stable, universally acceptable, and centrally managed digital currency to restore economic order and enable direct. And then what's it gonna say? We don't know who's who. We're in chaos right now. We need to know directly who's getting this money, who's using the system. We're gonna need people to put this mark. We're gonna need people to use this, and so they're gonna be able to spin it however they want to spin it. But the main point is to show you that this thing is moving at a light speed, man. Okay, it says order, enable, direct, effect, efficient, facial policies, helicopter money. I don't know what that is. Hold on, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Hold on. The word helicopter money is a hypothetical monetary policy where a central bank creates new money and distributes it directly to the public to stimulate spending and increase economic output and inflation. Oh, okay, shit. Damn. I didn't know that was a thing. So helicopter money. B, rampant identity fraud and cyber crime, which we see. We see people's identity being stolen. You see a lot of fraud happening. Okay, Ponzi schemes now with crypto, all these different things. That's why they made that crypto bill. All these people using these currencies that they're not assured of. So that right there is a tall tale sign that they could use that to implement this also. So it's something you got to watch for on that front. Is that, yeah, it seems cool, but they could use the what? The fraud. And that's why they can say that if it's gonna be harder for criminals to take something that's implanted in your skin. It's gonna be harder for criminals to do that, and it's gonna be easily tracked if you're running around with somebody's hand, or you. There's no way you be able to use that they call them keys. If you go into crypto, your crypto wallet has a key. It's a key that allows you to use your crypto without, because there's no way else to control it, because it's on the tumble system. The numbers keep moving around, and so there's no way for you to track it. Ergo, there's no way for you to prove that that's your money unless it's under the banner of that key. That's why they call them keys. All you got to do is look up videos on the internet, people losing their crypto keys. So if you lose your crypto key, you're out thousands of dollars. It don't matter how much money's in there. You can't get it because your key's lost. So they can put all that information and put all of those things into that one criteria to say, okay, there's no way for us to give you another number pretty much. So we got to make sure this number is tapped to you, it's tied to you, and there's no way nobody can get it. Okay. Justification for the system: a need for a physically unlosable, read that word there, unlosable, cryptologically secure, and biometrically linked digital identity to eliminate fraud and restore trust in online and offline transactions. So that's another scenario which we can see happening also. And they could use all of these. This is just an outline. They could fuck around and use all of these scenarios simultaneously or in conjunction with each other, and it's a wrap. And they'll have justification for all of it. Same thing with chat. They say, oh well, we can't. We need people to be safe. We got this disaster that just took place. You got to get down with the system or don't. Public health crisis, pandemic scenario. A new, even more very what is that? Virulent, deadly pandemic emerges. Contact tracing, proof of vaccination, and health status monitoring becomes paramount for socially. What is that? Socially or social functions. So like if I pronounce that wrong. But the main point is we seen that also with the in the time of the jab, okay? When that came up, people were having to get contact traced. They were having to monitor the movements, making sure they're doing this, making sure they're doing that. All these things were coming up. Why is that? Because Yabashim Yahushai had put people on a trial run, a test run around the, if you want to say that, okay? And it says, let's go down. It says a need for a real-time health credential system integrated with identity to manage movement, access to public spaces, and ensure workplace safety, workforce safety. D, mass migration, border security crisis. And what do you have today with the dispatching of the ICE in Babylon, okay? They're going after these supposed immigrants, but a lot of the so-called Americans of that ethnicity is being hemmed up. It's being taken into custody. It's being overly used. Their powers are being flexed on them. Okay? It says scenario, climate change and conflict leads to unprecedented levels of displaced persons, straining national systems for asylum documentation and integration. System justification for the system. A need for a universal, internationally recognized digital ID to manage refugee flow, distribute aid, and streamline legal status verification. So these things are being used already. There was just one scenario. So that card can still be played on a high level if need be. A rise of supernatural governance. Scenario, global challenges like those above lead nations to create significant sovereignty to international bodies, strengthening UN, IMF, or a new global alliance, according to that. But the main point is that the increase in these scenarios and increase in these things can intensify the borders, okay? Let's keep going down. Technologically implantations, the solution, the digital identity year, the mark. Oh shit, the digital identity layer, the mark technology, a subdermal microchip, RFID, NFC, or a more advanced bio-integrated system. Location, right hand of the forehead, and practice visible and symbolically charged locations. The hand is effortlessly transaction scanning and foreheads. So you see it. It's coming right there. Data stored. A unique encrypted identifier. The chip itself would not store all the data, but would act as a key. Just like I said before, a key. You got to have a key for your crypto. Your crypto might not be in your RFID chip, but you got the keys to where it's held at in the cloud or wherever system that it's being held at. You're able to unlock it with your actual key. So just now, people need keys to get into their house. So the same thing, you're going to need a key to get into your supposed identity, your information, your who you are as a person in this society. You're going to have a key for it, okay? Data stored, a unique encrypted identifier. The chip itself would not store all data, but would act as a key to access secure cloud. See, I didn't know they're going to put that in a cloud-based profile containing biometric data, fingerprints, iris, retina, scan, facial recognition templates, citizenship, legal and tax records, health records, and vaccination status. Finally, the credit history. So it's here, man. You can clearly see that they're brewing something. Something's coming down the pike. Digital currency layer, the ability to buy and sell. Technology, the central bank digital currency CBDC issued and controlled by the central authorities, a national bank or a global financial institution. integration, the CBDC wallet was irrevocably linked to the individual digital ID. Everything transaction in. Yeah, that's the main thing to show that they're moving this goalpost, man. Let's keep going down. See if there's any more meat. Shit, I can do a whole nother sit down on this one. Yeah. Connection, what does it say? Social credit linkage. The digital ID system is integrated with a social credit score. Law-abiding pro-social citizens enjoy low interest rates, full access. Those who low scores due to protest, participation, misforming, spread of unpaid debts, find their abilities to travel or purchase certain goods hindered. So you're gonna be hindered during that time. Okay, the Most High is gonna take care of us. We're not worrying about what Esau does, man. This is for his down point. We're not going into punishment. We're coming out of it, man. All right, just like when you coming off a long shift, you seeing your next shift come in. You ain't saying, oh man, damn, you ain't. No, they got to put that work in. Okay, so now we've told the people, we've put forth the warning through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Now it's time for people to take heed or hey, get caught up. Okay, this is the book of Job 5 and verse 14. Just to back up the point, because they're doing this in secret. This is Job 5 and verse 14. Darkness comes upon them in the daytime, and at noon they grope at night. KJV or King James, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. And we're talking to you Israelites, man. You groping. If you don't know what the MOTB is, if you don't know what that is, that means you're groping. It means you can't even teach your disciples that. Because if your disciples don't know, how are they gonna know not to take it? How are they gonna know not to how are they gonna know not to, or how to avoid it? They're not. They're just gonna lean on you and say GMS the devil though. Okay. This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and verse 2. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. One shall be stronger than the other. So he's waiting and seeing what's gonna happen to us. We ain't kicked it out there, no desert shoes and shit like that. We ain't kicked it like that. It says, is not for the, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. Okay, going with the law. That's why I said Jake does the law knowingly. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy, the transgression of the education. So why I read this is to show that they have a sense of knowing that, guess what, when we woke, they know we are the Israelites. They know that we're coming back to ourselves. They know that we're waking up out of the hell of a hit they threw at us. But knowledge, wisdom, and understanding should be the stability of that time. So you got these same Edomites that had hatred towards you. Now they want to, look at you. Oh, hey, how you doing? But you keep it as is. That's why it says, who should pity a man that's bitten by a serpent? This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 in verse 13. It says he professed to him. So like, it says he professes to him knowledge of Yahweh, and he calleth all children. Let me jump down to 15. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like ours, like other men's. His ways are another fashion. That's the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what made us a holy nation, separate from these other nations, okay? And the Lord has always wanted it like that. That's the way the plan is going to go, and that's what we're going to go back to, okay? Because the nation of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans will be established and set back in your land, and the nations will not be allowed to come up in there unless, you know what I'm saying, tribute or something. But, you know, the Lord will have it. But at that day, we're going to find rest, man. And that's what we need, all right? So with that, I want to leave it there. I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash. Until next time, I say shalom. And more not, I never keep faith. Shalom.